Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Only Stupid Answers. This is the show where we answer your questions about movies, TV shows, comic books, TikTok, SAG strikes, and so much more. I'm your host, DJ Wooldridge. With me, as always, is Roxy Stryer. Hello, Roxy.
Hello, DJ. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Mm-hmm. And oh my God, there's another person in your little doodad.
It never happens. It's Jess Lucero.
Yay! So, Jess, for the kids at home, who are you?
I'm Jess Lucero.
Yeah.
I'm also known as Jess the Reporter on TikTok. I cover basically anything entertainment news. So entertainment, sports, just pop culture overall. I know way too much about things that I really shouldn't care about.
Like Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. I've been filled in on everything, DJ. I know all about T Swift and Travis now. It's very cool.
So is it a psyop? I've heard like crazy conspiracy theories that this is some sort of like that it's like fake and it's trying to get the NFL more money because apparently they don't have enough of it.
I had a guy come up to me at the gym and he was like, I know the real reason. Just
Great.
A classic mansplain to me where he was like, it's because the NFL ratings have been down.
Sure.
So Travis had to take one for the team.
Great.
Neither of them are each other's type. And I'm like, I think it just kind of happened. I think it's kind of real. I'm digging it.
The part that's confusing me more is the context you just gave is a person, just some random person at the gym walking up to you and be like, hey, here's information you need.
Yeah, did they see like one of your TikToks and they're like, no, that's wrong, Jess.
Yeah.
Is that really what happened?
Yeah, DJ.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
A TikTok celebrity, bro. Like, you don't even know. DJ is so egregiously not in the TikTok world.
I'm not.
But when he was like, I want to bring on a TikToker, I was like, oh, okay. Number one of my closest friends is a huge TikToker. Number two, he was like, so like, what is it? I was like, no, that's her arena. I dabble, but like, I have no idea. She's all day filming things. It's like a full-time content creator thing, which is wild.
That's great. I'm still stuck on just random strangers coming up to talk to you. Is that like a normal day for you?
No, it's
thank
not
God.
like that. Don't worry.
Oh, thank God. Because it's like when
on occasion, if I go to events or if I go places, but I would say there's a lot of really big people on TikTok and a lot of them think that they're bigger than they are. And then it's a rude awakening when they realize that they're actually not that big.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, it's just, I know these people and so they talk to me about pop culture, what's trending in the news, that sort of thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, because when I'm at the gym, don't talk to me, don't look at me, don't leave me alone. This is not
so with you,
this
DJ.
is not social time.
I love it. I'm a little too social, so we made a career out of it.
That's great. No, that's perfect. That's fantastic, and I'm so thankful that you're able to be on the show, and we're able to get, with you being there, we're able to get that to work. So, a little business up top before we dive into the main discussion. As always, if you want to watch this show ad-free, if you want to watch it live, if you want to check out Patreon exclusive shows like Spider-Versity or Q&A, you can do that over at patreon.com/onlystupidanswers. If you're listening on iTunes, 5 stars, please and thank you. If you listen on Spotify, every week we ask a question. Last week's question was, what's your favorite dish to cook? Elaine Balthazar responded, Peking duck with a cry face and then a happy face.
Wait, why? Why are you crying? You don't love cooking it that much if you're crying.
Is it hard? One presumes.
It sounds like it would be. Could you make Peking duck?
Wait, you guys, this is so funny because you realize that people use the crying face when they're laughing.
Is it a cry laugh, DJ? Is it a cry?
Okay. Well, you have the doc. It's in the doc. So you look in the doc because you tell me.
But I don't know who they is, but they decided that the laughing crying emoji is like outdated now. So they use the crying or the dead emoji if it's funny.
Wait, hold on. It's not, there's no tears.
Oh, there's no tears.
Yeah.
That's not a cry.
Okay, what is this? That mouth turned upside down equals sad to me. Is that incorrect?
So good.
Oh, okay. We love Peking. Got it. Thank you, Jess. Okay.
Wait, hold on, though. I'm still on what you said. Now just cry is happy?
Yeah. They're like, like crying from laughing so hard. Or the dead emoji, like I'm dead.
DJ, you're so old.
Guys, this happened like a year ago. You're behind.
Are we
old? So old, DJ.
So I've told this to Roxy before, just for context. My goal in life, my dream, is one of my favorite filmmakers, Jim Jarmusch, doesn't have a phone. Like, if you to get a hold of him, you have to catch him at the cafe he frequents every day.
Nice.
Like, that's how you get a hold of this guy, and it's like, yeah, that's it. That's the secret sauce. That's how I want to live my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm behind on the laughing emoji face. Is what we're getting at.
Understandably so.
So, what is your favorite dish to cook, if you have one?
My brain just automatically goes to a pop culture reference that you guys, well, I think you would get it.
Is it a TikTok salad or something?
No. When you ask what my favorite dish is before
Uh-huh.
finishing the sentence, oh, do you both know when Demi Lovato is like, probably a mug? Do you know what I'm talking about? Oh my
No.
God, you guys with the pop culture references,
Yeah.
come on.
She said probably a mug.
Yeah.
Just making a joke, or she really thought that's what they were
So
asking?
it came out years later that she was making a joke because she was so tired of getting interviewed that day.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it like turned into this whole thing. But my actual favorite dish,
Mug being a dish. I'm with you now. It took me a second, but I'm here. Yeah.
We're there? Okay.
Yeah.
My actual favorite dish is probably maybe fajitas, because I feel like they're just easy. No, actually, I know. A crab boil. Duh. I do this for like everything I'm celebrating. I go all out.
What?
That's great. I
Where's
love
my
crab.
crab boil. I want a crab boil.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming up.
That would be bomb.com.
So good.
So how does one make a crab boil?
Yeah.
Other than, I assume, boil crab. Step one.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to buy crab, shrimp, kielbasa sausage, potatoes, corn, and then you just get the water going crazy.
Yeah.
Then I make a bomb sauce. It's a lot of ingredients I probably won't remember on the spot. But
Yeah.
don't forget the Old Bay seasoning. That's the best.
Yeah.
And lots of garlic.
Perfect. I love it.
So you're going to
good.
make that now, DJ?
No, but it sounds like a lot of work. But
It
if
is.
you all make it, I will come over and
DJ
steal
is
some.
a breakfast burrito stud. He is
Sure.
a
Thank you,
breakfast
Roxy.
burrito guy. Yeah. He's nailed it.
Yeah.
He makes all the fillings and uses them through the week, and that's his recipe.
Yeah. You have a
Nice.
few go-tos. Roxy, what did we determine your go-to is?
I think like pastas, stir fries.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd picked a go-to after hearing what Adam's were. We had
Yeah.
a chef on.
Adam,
he had a lot of good ones.
Yeah, Adam shamed me a little bit because I
Oh,
talked
no.
about I was like, I'm a little impatient for cooking. Like, I don't like the experiment of it. I think because it's like, I'm excited to eat. And if I mess it up, then my eating has been ruined. And he was like, no, man, you got to embrace the trying stuff out. And I was like, I guess not. No, I don't. But sure, I respect you doing that.
Make something right the first time. Is it even worth making at all? And
Yes.
I was just thinking to myself, yes.
Wait, what?
Like,
That's
cooking,
true.
you can cook it right the first time. Is it even worth cooking at all? And I was
That
like,
is somebody that loves cooking. That is somebody that, and I respect it and I appreciate it. It's just not me. It's just not me. All right. News.
yeah.
Which it sounds like we're behind. It sounds like just you should be the one telling us.
Yeah, this is way cooler news than we have.
I'd be talking about Bad Bunny right now. And
what
how
the
they're
fuck is Bad
teaching
Bunny?
Bad Bunny courses at certain colleges, apparently.
Huh.
DJ,
all right.
do you know who Bad Bunny is?
I do. Oh, listen,
yes, DJ.
Roxy, I'm married to a Hispanic woman.
Right,
Bad Bunny
right,
gets a
right,
lot
right,
of play in this household. All
Right,
right.
right.
So,
My bad, you're right.
yeah. So I know all about the Jenner he's dating. And I
Kendall?
feel like the wrong one.
Kendall?
I feel like the Jenner, because one of them's dating Charlamagne and one of them's dating Bad Bunny, and I feel like it's the wrong Jenners. I feel like they should
Did he
switch.
say Charlemagne? Or
I
did
think
he
he
say
said
Chalamet?
Chalamet.
You
Chalamet the God,
Kylie-
yeah.
You think Kylie should be with Bad Bunny, and you think Kendall should be with Timothy?
That feels more on brand.
That is, oh my God, I'm so proud of you, DJ.
Yeah.
That is like a theory that has been going around
Yeah.
that they need to swap because
Yeah.
it just doesn't make sense with how it's currently laying out.
Yeah, not that people are brands or anything, but if any people is brands, it's the Jenner Kardashians. So you'd feel like, but whatever, man, you live your life. So what we have in news is this week, a bunch of A-listers, including George Clooney, Emma Stone, Ben Affleck, Tyler Perry, Scarlett Johansson, and more, went to the SAG leaders, Fran Drescher and Duncan Crabtree, Ireland. This is via Deadline. And they offered to remove the 1 million cap on membership dues in an effort to bring a residual system to streaming The Stars also proposed a formula that would make the lowest names on the call sheet who most need the money the first to be paid. Deadline hears that SAG-AFTRA leaders brought the offer to the negotiating committee Wednesday night. I have not heard. It was rejected. Actually, I have heard that. George Clooney told Deadline, a lot of the top earners want to be part of the solution. We've offered to remove the cap on dues, which would bring $50 million to the union annually, well over $150 million over the next 3 years. We think it's fair for us to pay more into the union. We also are suggesting a bottom-up residual structure, meaning the top of the call sheet would be the last to collect residuals, not the first. These negotiations will be ongoing, but we wanted to show that we're all in this together and find a way to help close the gap on actors getting paid. Via Variety, the pitch found no traction, says a source, leaving the A-listers group feeling dejected. Quote, they don't understand why there isn't just a mediation, says one of the sources. So basically, a bunch of the A-list actors were trying to bridge the gap disparity between what SAG is asking for and what AMPTP is willing to give. And the SAG was like, no, thank you.
Yeah, I think that this is a great PR move for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, well, we want to help.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, number one, I don't think that it's particularly sustainable in terms of like, what are they going to do just with no contract every 3 years, discuss how much money they're going to put into it.
Yeah.
Like, I just picture them being like, where do you guys want to meet? Like, let's pick this secret spot and everybody who's a top earner come here for dinner. And then we decide how many millions this year we give the poor people. Like,
yes.
It's just like, I don't know how that contractually would actually work. And is it everybody who hits a certain threshold? So
it's A-listers only.
Yeah.
Once you reach the A-list club, then you join this meeting.
Right.
And
like
you give your money away.
Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't fully track for me, but I do think it's a smart, I get what they're trying to do, but also they're the ones who aren't making money right now. And I think they're just tired of not making their millions and millions. And they're just like, we want this over. We'll pay for it. Whatever.
Yeah. Also, isn't it kind of bullshit that like over $1 million, you don't have to pay dues on that money? You're the richest ones. Shouldn't you pay more? Is that crazy?
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to help with initiation dues because right now I think it's like $3,500 to join SAG, which nobody who's joining SAG can pay.
Right.
Awesome.
Because it's so much money and is so much more than what the job that you got that made you have to join SAG actually would be.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll help with that.
It reminds me of when a couple gets in a fight and let's say the husband is like, I'm tired of fighting. Like, here's flowers, really nice flowers. Go buy yourself a purse. Mm-hmm. And that solves everything, right? And then the wife is like, no, what about the point of the problem?
Yeah. Well, because I saw some, and I should have pulled some of these tweets, but I saw some tweets going around that portrayed this as, you know, this is kind of what AMPTPP wants, is that because they're not willing to negotiate, they're forcing us into a position.
You made so much progress last week. AMPTP, bro. You were so close.
But you haven't made a compelling argument of why I should try. I don't care about these people. So, forcing SAG into a position where they're negotiating with themselves.
That's nuts. That is nuts. They're literally like, we're going to do nothing. So SAG, you figure this out. So the big SAG dogs, you work with the little SAG dogs and then bark enough. And then whoever barks louder, that's the SAG agreement.
Yeah. But I do think you touched on like a core aspect of this problem across the board is I don't love, and I don't have a great solution, but I don't love that we live in a system where it's all of us begging for the generosity of the people with all the money. It's like, but they don't want to give that money. And also we're the ones making that money. So why are we having to beg for the money we made?
Yeah, it is kind of wild. And also, I don't know if you guys feel like this at all, but I feel like things kind of took a turn this week after SAG went back with what they asked for. And after the AMPTP walked away from the table again, it feels like the general public is so sick of SAG. And what I'm hearing from my friends at home and from my friends that work on the entertainment side of things, but are not in SAG or not talent, they're like, when is it going to be enough for you guys?
Oh my God. Yeah, that's what I keep hearing as well. Everyone's like, they make so much money. Like everyone just doesn't realize how much SAG members are actually getting paid.
Completely.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I think that this was kind of the final straw for a lot of people because I think Ted Sarandos came out with an article and did a whole thing on like, we came back and we gave them everything we had and it still wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And then I think a lot of people who read these things in the trades who aren't in the industry or aren't in this part of the industry were like, when is it going to be enough? And I'm really worried about that because SAG needs public perception on their side. They need people to understand what they're fighting for. They need people not to be working against them. And then that combined with them being like, no joke, them being like, no Halloween costumes. Yeah. I'm just like, ooh, SAG, I don't know. I'm on the same side as you guys, of course. I'm fighting the same fight. We wouldn't pick it again this week. Like there's no question about where my allegiance lies. But at the same time, I don't know that they're being as smart as possible about the way that they're going about this because I feel like they're losing the public right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm hopefully that's not the case. I did see, and obviously we've talked about this on the show before, you've got to be cautious when you're reading the trades. I was just reading, I think it was Hollywood Reporter this morning, that talked to some not entertainment experts, like experts in the field, like labor movements and stuff like that, about is SAG asking for too much? And the consensus seemed to be no. Actually, it's bold. What they're asking for is bold, but that's kind of what you need to. That's a good thing to do when you're trying to organize and move labor movements forward. And so I found that kind of a surprising conclusion coming from a Hollywood Reporter article. But I don't know that. With these articles in particular, I saw some complaining about specifically the A-listers concerned about the SAG leadership have a vision or whatnot. And I don't know that they're doing themselves any favors by being like the fun police. Like, hey, we're going to dictate what costumes you wear on Halloween. Also, no cosplay during Comic-Con. Also, people that aren't in the union, you can't talk about movies anymore. And it's like, I feel like pick your battles, but also I don't, whatever, man. I don't fucking know. I don't know that it's helping.
Yeah, I think that they also, like on the flip side of that, I agree with you, DJ, but also I feel like SAG is frustrated and they're like, stop supporting these mother effers. Don't wear their costumes. Don't show up for their stuff. Like we are just so sick and tired of them not giving what we need. And also in terms of being bold, I think I checked out the same article that you did, DJ. And I think that what people are having a hard time wrapping their head around is as technology has changed and as the industry has changed, SAG has had to be more creative with the way that they're asking for their payments because it's not the same structure anymore. And so people are getting confused about the way that residuals are working because it's different now. Like yeah, exactly. If SAG is like, what are your streaming numbers? And the streamers are still like, shh, don't tell them. That's shady. It's weird. Anybody that you explain that to is like, wait, what? They don't even tell the union what the numbers are. That's nuts.
Yeah.
I feel like SAG needs to be out there with their sticking points right now, explaining like, here are the 5 things we're asking for that we're not getting, that we cannot budge on. And I don't know whether that's a Fran thing or whether that's the people negotiating at the top or what, but I really want SAG to come out and be like, here's why we're making these decisions. Here are what these things that we cannot move on and why. And then I feel like they could easily get people back if those people are gone.
I was telling Roxy about, for the sake of this conversation, I won't say what movie it was, but Paramount uploaded an entire movie to TikTok and it was in like 23 parts.
Yeah.
And the first thing we're thinking of is how are these actors and everyone who worked on this movie, how are they getting paid from this now being on TikTok? You know, like they were over here uploading their movies to all these streaming services that's already affecting the residuals and how people are getting paid. And now you're going to upload it to TikTok where creators are barely getting paid. I don't know. It just seems like it's a step backwards at this point. It's great for the viewers, but it's not so great for the people who work on the movies.
Absolutely. And if we were reading the same article, Roxy, I know part of it was the goal being, that we don't have to do this again in 3 years. So like creating a system that could last us up to 10 years. And I think that's that's a good instinct to have. So we will see, depending on who you're listening to, scripts should be being completed the next, like for shows, should be completed in the next couple weeks. There's a few big tent poles coming out in the next few months. So hopefully that will motivate the studios to come back to the negotiating table.
Speed it up.
Yeah, that would be please and thank you. That would be great. Last bit of news is Mr. Elon Musk has decided that X/Twitter will now be charging residents of New Zealand and the Philippines specifically a $1 a year fee to use Twitter through the website, through a program that's called Not a Bot Program.
I don't even use it now anymore. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm devastated about that because it was my favorite app and I loved it. And I was like, I'm still going to use it. Elon can't kick me off this, but it is useless to me now. It doesn't show me the news I want to see anymore. The only people that pop up are the people who pay for it. And those are the people spreading misinformation. Yep. Obviously, this is an entertainment show, but with everything going on in the world this week, speaking about X specifically, the amount of misinformation on there about a massive effing war is disturbing, disgusting. You cannot trust any of the sources on there. So it's straight, and it's not fun anymore at all. So it's not informative, fun. It's nothing. It's useless. Somebody couldn't pay me $1 a month to be using this right now, let alone asking for my money. And for people in the Philippines, it's just like, what is your logic here, bro? Everything he says is just like ass backwards. Why? How are you just making this? Are you flying by the seat of your pants? Like, where is this coming from? How did you get to be a billionaire? I'm so confused.
Yeah, it makes me so sad to see. Twitter used to be great, but I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it, for me at least, it had been going downhill for a while. I think ever since TikTok took over, I started noticing that there was like a really big divide between people with like a TikTok sense of humor and a Twitter sense of humor. And I started really leaning into the TikTok sense of humor.
What's the difference?
Some would say that it's just like, for example, did you know about the laughing crying emoji?
Got it.
One is old and one is young and hip.
Yeah, you said it, not me.
Totally. This is why DJ and I love Twitter.
Yeah. Wait, we don't need to get. Is there an age gap between you two?
Oh, like, it's little.
Not too bad.
Okay. All right.
I think I have like 4 years on you.
Okay.
Yeah.
But DJ, you've got like a couple years on me.
Yeah.
So there's
I'm an elder millennial. I'm right on the cusp between like I'm very clearly a millennial grounds, but I got a little bit of the Gen X residuals.
You know what they call you?
What?
Geriatric.
Oh,
great. Cool. Awesome.
You got the word.
Cool. Great. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Is there any chance that Elon Musk will be kicked out? Like the banks will be like, hey, you're losing us too much money or something, and they'll just take it. Somebody will just take it and we'll get Twitter back. Is that
people are over here paying for their check marks. So I think there's definitely still going to be people who pay for the app if they care about it enough. But I mean, couldn't be me. I don't know how many new people are going to be drawn to the app now, specifically from New Zealand and the Philippines.
Yeah.
It's turning so conservative that I'm concerned about people even starting to pay for it, because the people who are paying for it, they're not just paying to use the app, they're paying to support Elon on purpose. Like he has such a crazy ride or die fan base that are obsessed with him, that I do think that it's people like just whatever decision he makes, they want to support. So I don't see him getting ousted. And even if he did, DJ, at this point, how are we going to get our Twitter back? What would they even do? Like, okay, everybody who's paid for your verification, go fuck yourselves. You're done. The people who had verification before, we're going to renew yours and just hope that you come back to the apps. Like that, it would have to be that in order for at least our colleagues to give a shit about it anymore at all.
Yeah. So then follow up, where do I go? Tell me where to go.
Come to TikTok.
Oh my God, is that a transition? I feel like I sense a transition. Let's transition over to our TikTok conversation. So, Jess, as you've hinted at, you're familiar with TikTok.
Just a little.
What is your relationship with TikTok?
A bit one-sided.
Okay.
I use it a little too often. I would actually hate to know what my screen time is with TikTok.
Yeah.
I am now a creator. Well, I have been a creator. for that's scary to think about, like 2 years now.
Hey, at least you're not geriatric, apparently. So
In TikTok years.
My bad.
Yeah.
In TikTok years, I think that's considered geriatric. So I'm right there with you in one way or
So
another.
2
Yeah.
years ago, you had 0 followers on TikTok?
Okay, here's the thing. Maybe I should give some of this backstory. I
Please.
had a different TikTok account.
Mhm.
And it was where I used to work in the sports industry, and like I still dabble in it here and there, but I have really been drawn to the entertainment industry for a while, and I wanted to figure out how to dive deeper into it. And I had been applying to even internships when I was in college, and I just never got the entertainment internships, only got the sports jobs.
Yeah.
So when I first joined TikTok, it was a year before this one, so 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and it was all sports related stuff. But you could just tell I wasn't in love with sports. It was almost
Mhm.
like a little try hard. And then 2 years ago, that's when I was like, you know what? Screw it. The only way that I'm going to start getting any jobs in the entertainment industry is if I show them that I deserve it.
Mhm.
So I just started talking about entertainment news because that's what's fun for me and easy for me. And yeah, it's been fun.
She
That's
also, which is crazy too, DJ, is like, I don't know that people know in our audience, I don't know if they know that this is like a full-blown career. Like
Yeah.
when you made that shift, Jess has hundreds of thousands of followers. She's repped at the #1 agency in the world.
Yeah.
She now is with SiriusXM doing TikTok radio for them.
Mhm.
Like it's a full-blown platform that then made you have an entire career surrounding it, which is wild.
Yeah,
That's
it's
incredible.
been amazing. Like it may be sad to say that I did join it for job opportunity, but I was just so tired of other people getting jobs over me because they had numbers, or of people coming to me and telling me, "Oh, I would give you this job if your numbers were higher," and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So it's kind of like a classic if you can't beat them, join them type
Yeah.
of mentality. And yeah, I've had a lot of really great opportunities. I've been able to work carpets as my own brand, Just the Reporter now, and I covered that Pink movie
Mhm, mhm.
as myself as well. So it's been just really exciting to see the opportunities that have come from it. It's not just a silly little dancing app.
Mhm. Exactly. It can be if you want, but it's not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
that.
Exactly. I think that that's a great part of the app, though, is like the when I'm scrolling through, at least I feel like my feed has extreme ADHD.
Oh my gosh.
Where like there's the use of the world and there's the dancing of the world, and then there's like
There's the use of the word.
yeah, there's the use of the world to bring. You're the only reason why I know about anything going on in pop culture at all. Like
Yeah.
the use of the world, most specifically you.
Yeah.
It just sounds so funny coming from you.
The use,
The use. I'm the use and you're the
Jews. Oh, using the Jews.
Yeah.
Yeah, am I not even allowed? Didn't Kanye make it so I'm not even allowed to say use
I
anymore?
zipped my mouth on that one.
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm gonna use all I want, but
Yeah.
yeah, I like love that there is so much variety there. But it's not like I follow anybody specifically for the dancing stuff. I do follow people specifically for the news, so I think it's smart to
Yeah.
pivot. Why did you close down the other account then? Just for the algorithm purposes? You didn't think that you could just do what you were doing on the sports account and then pivot?
Yeah, that account was stuck at like 13K for I don't even know, maybe like a year or so, and it just was not growing. And I was getting frustrated because I knew my potential, and
Mhm.
whenever I would talk about a TV show or a movie or something that I enjoyed, it just wouldn't do well. It would get like 200 views.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, this is so frustrating because I know I have a lot to say about this stuff. I just wish people would listen. So I said, screw it, and just, yeah, started doing an entirely different thing. Because before it was all kind of like memes and just, I wouldn't really even share my opinion about sports. It was just going along with the trends.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
we say is that you need to create a new account if you're stagnant, which like I don't understand how much of this is about your content and the quality of your content, and how much of this is about luck, and how much of this is about just like TikTok preferencing you for some reason.
Yeah, I think there's a lot that ties into it. And I heard someone compare TikTok to something, I'm blanking on it, but basically when you start doing well. If a video does well, then you have to like kind of ride that wave and keep posting
Yeah.
after that. Or there will be weeks at a time even where I have videos that just keep tanking, and I'm like, just keep powering through because eventually one is going to pop off and then it'll go from there. So it's definitely a weird algorithm, but it can play in your favor from time to time.
So beyond, obviously, TikTok is your career, but beyond that, in the landscape of social media, what is the appeal of TikTok over other social media platforms in your opinion?
Okay, so Instagram, I'm like, I was ready for this question. Okay, so
Yeah.
Instagram just feels so judgy. It feels like I am at a high school reunion.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people on TikTok have been talking about this recently, where it's these viewers who watch your stuff, they see your photos and they scroll past you every time. But then on occasion they'll DM you and be like, "Oh, congrats on the new gig," but they're never going to like publicly show their support.
Yeah.
So it's like it just makes you feel kind of icky.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you feel like you have all these people with their eyes on you, but they don't care to support you.
Okay.
Whereas on TikTok, it's not even necessarily about support. It's like a community where you all just shoot the shit together and you have the same interests, because otherwise, why are you popping up on their For You page?
Yeah.
But yeah, I noticed that I get a lot more hate on Instagram than I do on TikTok, and I'm nowhere near the size that I am on Instagram as I am on TikTok.
Yeah, that's an interesting component of things. Do you think that is something intrinsic to TikTok, or is it, because a lot of social media platforms will enjoy like a boom and like a golden age, and then they'll kind of fucking suck, right? And so it's not always some billionaire buying it and like seemingly purposefully tanking it. Do you think it's different for TikTok, or is it just happens to be this is the golden age of TikTok?
I think it's different for TikTok because the way Instagram began was by showing this life that people wanted you to think that they had.
Mm-hmm.
Like they wanted you to think that they drove this amazing car. Like if you remember a long time ago when girls would post their nails that they got done on top of their car, and it wouldn't even necessarily be their car. They'd be driving someone else's car, or they would take photos in front of houses that weren't theirs. People have taken photos in private jets that aren't even operating. They're just for photo shoots. So it's like this unrealistic lifestyle that people have tried to sell you on Instagram, whereas TikTok is like, the second news drops, if I don't have makeup on, I'm not putting makeup on. If I have a retainer in, I have left it in from time to time and posted that TikTok video. Like we just, for some reason, feel like it's a close friends account when it's on your TikTok.
Gotcha. That actually leads to a question we have from Mike Joyce. It seems like you have to film your TikToks pretty quickly after news breaks. What's the strangest spot you filmed a TikTok?
Oh my God, that's such a funny question. I would say, I don't know if I can think of a strangest spot, but I have definitely been drunk at like either the Super Bowl and had to delete videos after the fact, or like when Rihanna announced her pregnancy at the Super Bowl halftime show this year. I ran to the bathroom and everyone is screaming behind me, and I was like, everyone, I need you to shut up for 2 minutes. And they're all just on the other side of the door trying to like make me laugh the whole time. So it's just at parties, I guess, is like a typical
Where were we?
one.
We were out to lunch the other day, and Jess stepped outside for a minute. I didn't even know she was recording.
Oh, yeah.
And she filmed a TikTok, and then it got 10 million views within like a day. And she's like, literally came back. I thought she went to the bathroom. That's how short she was gone for. And she's like, you can put in hours and hours. I've watched you make one video that took you hours, and then it will tank. And then, or you could do this where I think you're in the bathroom, you're quickly recording, you come back and we put the phone down, we're done with lunch, it's already a couple million views. I'm like, dude, what is happening?
That one low-key pissed me off. I was 5 hours late to this news, and I was just like sitting here tapping my foot because we're at a place where I can't film. And I was like, screw it. I went to a corner of the place that I can't film. And I normally have like a little mini mic with me, didn't have the mini mic. So I just filmed it with people in the background. You can hear everyone talking, clinking cups, whatever. And the video, literally 12 million views. Tell me how. It makes no sense.
So wait, how is this news getting to you? Because you're saying you're 5 hours late. Like, are you like, do they send you press releases? I'm sure it's different depending on the situation.
Great.
Yeah.
I love when I get a good press release, but it doesn't happen very often. I would say I'm just, I know the sources to check, and I check them a little too often. I'm on like TMZ, Pop Crave. I'm on, I do use the X app for my news as well. And then I just follow a lot of accounts. I follow like 2,000 accounts on my Instagram. So I know who to scroll through. I just like, you know, when you just automatically click certain accounts, like of course you're friends, but then there's accounts beyond that, like Dumois. If you're familiar,
vaguely,
DJ?
No,
I'm vaguely familiar with them. Yeah, I am.
He's like, yeah, sure. Remind me.
I'm aware of it. It's come up. There's a website I go to for like pop culture stuff, and they'll bring it up with like
nice.
Yeah.
So DJ submits a lot of stories to Dumois. You know that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm familiar. Yeah. It's me. It's my platform.
Jess is always at events too.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like you always come home with a story from it. Like whether you're around a lot of the cast members of a show or whether like some of your other friends are whispering about things and then you catch on to stuff. That's usually whenever I see you after an event, it will be like, oh my God, did you know this person's pregnant or this person was cast in this or this like, I don't know, your ears to the ground. I think you're listening for those stories because that's your job.
Yeah, I'm definitely just like a nosy person in general. But I think I'm good at getting people to open up to me and they know that they can trust me. Like I have known about someone in the industry being pregnant for about a month now, and I have not let it slip. So that's how you know you can trust me.
Except now we're breaking it, and the person is
it's me.
Yeah,
fine.
It's me.
Let's just.
What's their social security number? Where do they live? Let us know.
So on one of the things, though, going back to your question, DJ, a little bit about Instagram versus TikTok or whatever. For me, one of the reasons I love Instagram is because I don't have to pick a topic.
Yeah.
Like it does make me a little nervous when everybody says for TikTok, you have to niche down, right? Yeah. Everybody's heard that. And I feel like I'm a person of so many interests. Like you came from the sports world now, unless it has to do with Travis, you're probably not talking much about sports because that's not what your fans are obsessed with on your TikTok account. And for me, I'm like, as DJ knows, I come here with like, I really rock the high-low. I love trash reality. And then I love prestige. I'm really into like bizarro hobbies, like knitting and cooking and baking, whatever. So like, I just feel like I have too many interests for TikTok sometimes. And it drives me nuts when I feel like I have to be one thing. Otherwise, I'm going to lose my followers. So I've kind of like stopped even posting on there. Do you find that frustrating or is that not the same for you?
No, as a creator, I do agree that it is extremely frustrating. I think you do almost have to lean into one aspect of your life, but then continue to talk about other things. Like I'm bad at, maybe you'd be surprised by this podcast, but I'm bad at talking about myself.
You haven't said one thing about yourself.
Okay, good. I don't know.
Yeah.
But typically on my social media accounts, I don't love to talk about myself. So if I do post a video where I'm like, get ready with me to go to this event, then it'll flop every time because I don't talk about myself enough or I don't talk about things other than pop culture enough. So I think if you find a balance where you lean into whether you're talking about like auditions or acting in general, and then you're like, oh, I'm from Boston. Here's what I did when I went to Boston last. Or here's what I do in LA as a, I was going to call you a transplant.
I am a transplant.
But you've been here for so long, it doesn't even count.
Yeah, I know. But I'm still Boston girl in my soul. Give it to you.
At the end of the day, I think people are becoming more comfortable with just like learning more about the people that they scroll across on TikTok. We're like almost tired of seeing the same 10 faces over and over. So I think we're becoming a little more open to that. I say we as me being a consumer of the app.
Yeah.
So I think it is becoming less of a niche and more just like, we want to see more of you. We want to see you post on TikTok like every day if you have the opportunity.
Yeah.
I just kind of like hope that one day, this is going to be such a dumbass comment, but I see people like Selena Gomez or some of the bigger stars make videos about anything they want, and people want to watch those because they love those people.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is what I wish everybody had, the opportunity to just like be themselves wholly and just have people be interested in them for being them, not for like delivering one certain type of news or one dance move, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like creators that I like, what's the name of the woman who she's Allison Holkey, Allison, the dancer who is married to Twitch? Allison Hope, it's something like that.
Yeah.
She's a rad dancer and I love watching her dance. But I noticed that I'll scroll through her TikTok because sometimes you ever want to hear somebody talk and you don't even know what their voice sounds like because all you do is see them like mimic the words or something or whatever. Like sometimes I really want more from these creators and I'm not getting it. So
yeah,
I just kind of hope that TikTok evolves in that way because that's where I do feel like Instagram has a leg up on them. That people will do their slides and you'll see on Instagram, like this is them with their family. This is them at work. This is them goofing off. And even though you're right, people are more just like looking at that, not supporting it. At least I'm getting a more full picture of somebody.
I think I'm like a prime example of how TikTok creators work, where you're not going to see what people are shocked when they see me in person. They don't know what I look like because they're so used to seeing a green screen behind me at all times.
Yeah.
And so I'll like mention my TikTok name and they're like, oh, wait, you're Jess the reporter. Oh my God, I didn't even realize. So we're so used to seeing some of these creators in one certain style all the time that that's something that has been brought to my attention and I'm trying to work on incorporating, because I think people would love to see what it's like to go work a red carpet or to go attend these events. But it's just a matter of like, it's my fault. I'm not uploading it. You know, I think as long as these creators continue to upload it, even if it is going to flop at first, because think about it, my first videos weren't doing incredible. You know, it took me a while to build this account. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of like sticking to it.
Yeah. And I think something you both touched on that I think is a component when we talk about social media, and I don't even necessarily know that it is a problem as much as just an inherent factor of it, is that at least all the social media that has been around since I've been around is inherently reductive. You know what I mean? It kind of like flattens a person into a brand or whatever language you want to use. Yeah. And I think because that's more easily consumable for people, and it also follows media trends since the dawn of time. But and again, I don't know that there is a way, like Roxy, you're kind of mentioning, like it'd be great if you could get kind of a three-dimensional view of a person through social media. And that raises an interesting question for me, because I don't know that social media is built for that. That's, you know what I mean? That's where like more personal interactions come in.
You're right. That's definitely true. And DJ, also, as you're saying it, I'm also thinking about every conversation you and I have ever had about how much less we wish we knew about some celebrities, like a Kanye. Where
it's just like, you could just shut up. You could just
or Jada right now. Like, just,
you could just not.
All these people who I'm like, I'm such a fan of you as an artist. I so badly wish that I had less of a view of you.
Yeah, I go back to and Roxanne and I talked about this. Kurt Russell, like I think a couple of years ago at this point, was like, you just don't need to talk about stuff. You know, you could just do the work and not talk about your personal life. And it's like, wow, that tells me a couple things. One, there's probably some things Kurt Russell believes that I don't agree with, but also I live in a world where I don't have to know that. I just get to watch Kurt Russell movies and feel great.
Yeah, but that's the reason that I love social media as opposed to like these big A-list celebrities where we never really do get to know them. You know, you hear stories about like what Reese Witherspoon's like on set or whatever. But like when I'm following people on social, it's because I like them.
Yeah.
Not because sometimes I love their work too, most of the time, but like I like them as a human. Like I want to feel like I could grab a beer with that person, which is not how I watch my movies or TV shows. So it's kind of different.
Yeah. But again, like there's always that component, like like it's the same. I'm going to phrase this in a crass way. It's the same reason you don't see people taking dumps in movies. Like there's always that element that's kept away from people. You know what I mean? That element of life that you, even with these celebrities, you know, it's even if it feels genuine, and it can be, there's elements, you know, people have bad days, you know, that you only get to know when you interact with them in person. And I am hopeful as generations grow up with social media, we'll be more literate about that, and more understanding of what role it plays in our social dynamics. But Jess, question for you. As Roxy knows, I've got a big, keeping it on wraps for right now, but I've got a big project on the horizon. And in the past, when promoting a project, Twitter was my go-to, and now Twitter is functionally dead, at least for me. And so on my little whiteboard of shit I've got to do, it's figure out TikTok. That's on there because of one of in the big Twitter diaspora, I planted my flags in a bunch of places, including TikTok. I have an account, haven't used it. What the fuck am I? What am I supposed to do? How do I crack this nut?
You are being very vague here.
Yes,
so it's a
you're
little
welcome.
tough to help. But I do think working with creators is one strong way. It definitely depends on what your product is. But I do think the fact that people have this niche that we're being told to have, it helps with knowing the exact type of person to go to. And you're able to see right off the bat if this person has good engagement or not, or if they're just there for simply like whatever news, I don't know, whatever it may be. But starting an account yourself is really tough. Because like I said, you just have to be extremely consistent with it. I would love more info.
Well, let's start with this way for the general audience at home, for people that aren't familiar with TikTok, that are just, how do you, because I understand there's a big component of like, I've heard it phrased as teaching the algorithm. Like, hey, this is the stuff I'm into. Don't show me this other stuff. For somebody that's not necessarily trying to be a creator, but just trying to engage with the platform in a productive way, do you have any input for somebody like that?
I mean, it's like a classic. You have to spend enough time on the app like you have to get to know the app, and the app has to get to know you.
Yeah.
It's got to be a little two-way street.
So there's no way around it.
No.
Yeah.
And I mean, on occasion, I'll get random videos on my page, and I'm like, ew, I don't like this. But luckily, they have a not interested button, and I will use it. Yeah.
Where's that?
You hold it down on the video, and then it'll pop up, and I click not interested because I'm like, this is on someone else's. This is not meant to be on my For You page.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that existed.
Yeah. And it's also a lot about the hashtags that you use. I use a lot of the same hashtags.
Are they specific or vague? Like, do you use hashtags like pop culture, or is it like Travis and Taylor?
Yeah, exactly.
Not knowing Taylor Swift's name.
Yeah. Who's that one? Who's the Eras Tour? Who's that?
Girl, she's blonde.
Who did he help blow up again?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
I use, if it's a story about Taylor and Travis, I will only use Taylor and Travis's name.
Yeah.
On occasion, I'll do like celebrity TikTok or something along those lines, but I won't go vague because they say that if you go too vague or if you use a hashtag that's like too widely used, then it won't help your video.
No.
So
who's they? So like all the time when people are trying to start TikTok things, I feel like the basics are right. Niche down, be consistent. They say to post like 3 to 5 times a day, 7 days a week, or whatever it is. Is they just content creators, or is like TikTok putting out these memos, or what?
TikTok was putting out memos. I don't know if they continue to do that anymore, but it's also a lot of people who have tested out different things themselves, different creators who have tested out different methods. I do notice that when I'm very consistent, as in posting 3 videos a day, which I have tried to do. I'm not the greatest right now considering what's going on in the world. On occasion, I will just stay away overall. But
sometimes you just have to sit with your thoughts and be a little sad. That's just,
let me live. Go do your own research.
Yeah.
So what are the Jess tips then, though? You said like people who have learned from just doing it.
What I have noticed for mine personally.
Yeah.
I like to post 1 to 2 videos before like 12 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
and then 1 to 2 videos after, let's say, 5 p.m. My videos at night tend to do really well. So I would say start testing out posting at different times throughout the day. And people say you have this part on your TikTok, this part of your settings where you could see like when your viewers are interacting with your videos.
Mm-hmm.
I have looked at it and I don't think it's going to help me at all.
Dude, mine is straight across the board. It seems like it's all the same throughout the hours.
It doesn't make any sense to me. And I've heard it's in like Central Time, it's in Pacific time. Who knows what time it's in? So I'm like, here's the thing. I will post in the morning. I will post maybe in the afternoon on occasion. And then at night, I will test those out. Typically for me, the nighttime videos do the best. Mm-hmm. So I try to post at least once a night. Okay. And yeah, it's just a matter of like staying. It's just, I'm going to freaking drill this into your head, but staying consistent, posting at least once a day, I would say is the best. But of course, if you have to skip, like mental health is way more important. Hello.
Mm-hmm. So when you say once a day, when you say once a day, you mean 7 days a week?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
But it's like if I'm going to take a Saturday or a Sunday off because I was raging the night before, so be it. Mm-hmm. I think as long as you're staying consistent in the sense of, let's say like 5 times a week, mm-hmm. but are you really going to grow based on 5 times a week? Probably not that much unless you are really dialing in on your niche. Yeah. So the more you post in a day, I would say the less niche you need to be.
But how long is a video take? Like, I know it's different for different niches, but I think, DJ, when you're thinking about every day, 7 times a week, you're thinking about the fact that you and I do a 2-hour podcast, dude. Like, mm-hmm. I think that's different than posting 7 times in a week, right? Yeah. Like, are you spending 2 hours on every video?
No, not at all. I'm spending, it definitely varies because I'm someone who loves to do my research. I like to make sure that I have the facts in my videos before I post them. And I just try to make them very entertaining. So I would say about 30 minutes at most. But on occasion, there's a couple of videos of mine or a couple of series that I do where it takes up to like hour and a half, 2 hours. And those, I find it really hard for me to stay consistent with. It's like maybe once a week of those types of videos.
So then once you get a little bit of a platform, like it's consistent, you have a little bit of numbers, then how do you go from what you're doing as kind of a hobby to making this into a career?
I noticed that I had companies reaching out to me. My manager reached out to me. I had a couple of brands who had reached out to me.
Your manager, before they were your manager, reached out and had been seeing you and was like, I would like to sign you because of your TikTok?
Yes, correct. And same with my agent, actually. He saw me for my sports TikTok. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like it worked for something. Mm-hmm. And same with my manager. He saw me for the sports that I had covered in the past. So I had to be very upfront with them that wasn't really the direction that I was planning on going down. But once you have a team around you, they help out a lot. But I've also reached out to companies and to networks on my own to say, look, I love this upcoming show. I would love to interview these cast members. I've started a few podcasts on my own. It's really tough to stay consistent, as you guys, I'm sure, know, with anything when it comes to creating content. But yeah, I think showing them the numbers and showing them examples of videos where they have performed well, it has worked out for me at least. And I've seen it work out for a lot of other creators as well.
Do you love it? Do you love doing it?
I love it. I think it's so fun. There are definitely times where the TikTok itself feels like work. But overall, when it comes to just covering entertainment news or pop culture, that's like all my brain consists of at this point. And I think it's so fun to talk about. I don't care what other people's opinions are. I don't care how many people comment. We don't care.
Well, listen, I think your view numbers show people do care. Or they care. People care. But I think what we're seeing, Roxy, it's the same thing with the cooking conversation. If you love it, the amount of work kind of doesn't matter as much.
Yeah, isn't
Yeah.
that crazy, DJ? That it's every industry is kind of the same. Like, unless you end up just tripping over something and becoming the luckiest person on the planet and gaining whatever overnight.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way around with cooking, with this, with stand-up comedy, with all the shows that we've been doing during the strike period, like specialized parts of the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
I just feel like the one consistent note is that if you're not consistent and if you don't spend the hours and if you don't love it, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. Like, there's just no shortcuts in any industry.
Absolutely. I will always refer back to, like, there was a reason why my first TikTok account didn't work out. You know, I wasn't passionate about it and decided to pivot. And this one has been, even if it, I guess I could also point this out for the people who are trying to join TikTok right now. When I first joined, I was growing 20K a month, every single month. So I grew I think I hit 300K the first year. I think I hit 300K on the day that I hit my 1 year.
Yeah.
And look where I'm at now. I'm still not to 400K. Am I almost there? Yes. But I bring this up to say it's a lot harder to grow now because it is so saturated.
Yeah.
But during this 300 to 400K, I have had so many job opportunities come up and so many like interviews with bigger companies and brand deals. So it's like, even if you're not growing as much, if you're still proving yourself in one way or another, or like building a stronger community overall, to me, that's still beneficial.
Yeah. 100%. Is there, I know you've probably hung out with enough YouTubers to know that YouTubers love to bitch about the YouTube algorithm. Is there as much, do you feel like there's as much fuckery with the TikTok algorithm?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
It's so funny to listen to people talk about, but the algorithm's been shit this week. And I'm like, oh, it's been fine for me. But... but then the next,
it's shit for you. That's weird. It's been fine for me.
Yeah.
My algorithm's good.
But then the next week I'll be like, oh, you were right. The algorithm, it's been shit.
Yeah.
So it's just like sometimes people just know if you're going through it, and they can like sense that through your videos. You know, they're like, wow, she just seems off lately. She just seems down, or she's not entertaining in this video. And I don't think it's necessarily the algorithm. Sometimes it might just be you.
So
the opposite, if it's not you, it's me.
Yeah.
It's not the algorithm, it's you.
It's you. So I guess before we go, last question from Leonard Kim from the Discord. What's the weirdest subsection, of TikTok that you've stumbled upon?
Well, only because you guys keep mentioning a chef that you had on.
Yeah.
My mind has been going in this. So there's this part of TikTok that is so cringy, but so funny. It's these chefs who make like sexual jokes while they're cooking.
All right.
It's so weird.
Like what?
Dude, they will have a chicken, like a chicken breast, and they're like fingering it.
Great.
I am not even kidding.
But isn't TikTok really weird about that stuff? Don't they pull down any sexual references or comments? No?
They haven't pulled those down.
That is so bizarre.
This one girl's account, her series is called Only Pans.
Okay.
Which I think is so funny.
Yeah.
Like, it's creative. It's clever.
Does she use a lot of pans?
Are pans involved?
I think they gotta be.
Yeah, okay.
We call it Only Pans.
Roxy, you're on TikTok. What's the weirdest subsection of TikTok you've stumbled upon?
I mean, I guess the only weird things that I really watch are like the pus and like pimple popping.
Oh, great.
I'm like obsessed. What was the weird thing that was like pimple popping that I stumbled upon that I was obsessed with? It wasn't pimple popping, but there was that one pimple popping video that was like 14 minutes long and it was hours condensed down.
All right.
I don't remember. It was something like pimple popping that the people, you guys at home, kept sending to me, and I was like, oh my God, this is better than pimple popping. And then I fell off of it. Oh, carpet cleaning. I know those two things don't sound similar.
Yeah.
But carpet cleaning is so satisfying. Like, you will watch somebody take these filthy carpets. Get on carpet cleaning TikTok. They will take these filthy carpets and then they power wash them.
Yes.
It is so satisfying to watch.
Right.
Like, you don't know what the design on the carpet is. And they power wash it for hours and then it's like vibrant as shit. It is like pimple popping without being disgusting.
I love that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
There's car washing. I love any of those types of videos. I will just sit and watch the whole thing. I'm like, oh my God, this is so, and it's like ASMR listening to it get cleaned.
Oh my God, the carpet one, this way it sounds. I'm like, yeah. And then I really like those videos of the people who write on the cups and it's dark and then you put milk in it and then you can see what the words say on the cup. I watch all those.
Go right
I
on.
love those.
Right
I send
on.
those to people. Like the one the other day, it said, the person who sent this to you wants you to know you're the best brother. I sent that to my brother. I thought that was so cute.
Yeah.
Roxy's For You page is just wholesome as shit.
Yeah.
Carpet cleaning and
pouring
best
coffee.
brother.
Kind of straight up. I love those things.
So last thing, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. How long is this lasting?
Yeah,
and how many good songs are we getting out of it?
Oh, we are getting an entire album
Great.
out of it. I'm trying to think of what it's going to be called. It's going to be called, I don't know, but there's got to be a song on there called Tight End. That's all I care about.
Tight end. Whoa, that's good.
Wouldn't that be crazy if she did that? She's just going to sneak a word in there. She's probably not going to call a whole song Tight End. That's too obvious.
Yeah.
TJ, like, I don't even know if you understand. There was a video of Taylor and Travis getting out of a car.
Yeah.
That was the whole video.
Yes.
And just did an entire breakdown of which side of her he was standing on, how he took her hand, like he boxed out the bodyguard essentially to get to her, like the whole thing. We'll break it down like second by second.
It was so fun.
And
Play by play.
I'm looking at the comments. I'm looking at all the like millions of people are hanging on her every word, breaking down where they're standing. I'm like, this is amazing. It's amazing to watch because like truly I'm invested in two people I've never given a shit about in my entire life.
Yeah.
It's so good. I did a play-by-play, so I combined sports and entertainment.
Boom.
Pause. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God. This is iconic.
I'm going to try to start doing more of those whenever we get videos of them or whoever else. But I feel like they could be Endgame.
Oh my God.
Oh shit.
Call me crazy.
Did you think that about her and anybody else ever before?
No. But also I like Taylor Swift, but I wouldn't ever consider, not ever, I wouldn't at this point consider myself a Swiftie because I don't know like all of her music.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm the best to speak on that, but definitely not with Joe. There's a video of them where he grabs, oh my God, first of all, Joe Alwyn grabs her hand like this, where it's like no fingers are interlocked, but then Travis Kelce interlocked fingers, and I believe
Jay, you didn't pay attention.
I didn't pay attention. I didn't see. I didn't know.
You didn't know.
But listen, they're two beautiful babies, and I hope that they're happy together. Good for them.
Yep. Agreed.
Good for them.
Any chance that Bad Bunny and Kendall make it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they're just gonna bang each other for the next 2 years and then they call it quits.
2 years.
Happy with that.
That's a good
Maybe
run.
she'll have a baby with him though.
Great.
And then he'll be in her life forever.
Oh, they do that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Babies out of wedlock.
Yeah.
The pain, the horror. How will they ever support them?
Yeah. A lot of babies running around. And I'm sure they see their parents every once in a while.
Yeah.
Occasionally.
They've got nannies.
Oh, well, listen. If you want more coverage like that, there will be links in the description. But Jess, let people know where they can find you.
You can find me on TikTok at Jess the Reporter, and the rest of my socials are at It's Jess Lucero. Thanks, guys.
No, thank you. Wait, Leonard Kim says in the chat, Trailer Forever. Is that their couple name?
Yes.
I don't like it. Trailer. I don't like it. Yeah.
I feel like it should have been. Oh, what else would you call them?
I don't know.
Tayless.
I don't know.
Ew, it's ugly either way.
There's no winners.
Because of the ship name.
Yeah. So, Roxy, where can the kids find you?
Everywhere at Roxy Stryer.
You can find me at DJ Talks Trash. You can follow this show everywhere that matters at Only Stupid Answers, but on Twitter/X.
You ain't got the vowels from stupid.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we will see you all next time.